Hello class, welcome to a room 222 Photoshop tutorial. Today's project is going to be dealing with something called concept art. And concept art is art in which the idea presented by the artist is considered more important than the finished product. Now this isn't my original piece of artwork, it is something that I found on the internet. But this guy here, I'm guessing, is a lonely man looking up at the earth, at the world, and maybe contemplating his life. So I'm calling it the Earth Concept Art example. So that's what we're going to be doing today, Earth Concept Art. So we're going to open up Photoshop, and we are going to create a canvas that is 1440 pixels by 900 pixels. So go to Open, New, 1440 by 900, all pixels, and it should be 72 pixels per inch. When you do that, you're going to click OK, and it's going to create this white canvas. Next, we're going to open up, you're going to find stock photos. You're going to find people, and you're going to look for standing man earth concept art. So all of the pictures that we're dealing with today are very specific, and all of them have earth concept art after them. So this first one is the standing man. You're going to click and open him up. We're also going to open up earth. So all the rest of these are under landscape. You're going to do earth, planet, earth concept art. And we're just going to open up all of these for right now. Desert earth concept art. And lastly, Starfield Earth concept art. So we have all of our pictures open up and ready to go. Lucky for you, the Earth planet is already in a PNG, so we don't have to worry about that one. But we do need to create a PNG of the standing man. So what I would suggest is you would outline the area with a quick selection tool. And then you're going to use the magic eraser to erase the areas that are around this man. Again, if you start with the contracting, subtracting selection tool, and you hold down the shift key, it'll switch it to the positive one. So I'm going to just start with this area first, and I'm going to use the background eraser tool, and I'm going to do the background. Make sure that your limits are discontiguous, your tolerance is 100%, and protect foreground color is not checked. This does not need to be extremely well done or exact, because when we move him over, we're actually going to make him very, very tiny. And if there are parts that you missed, that's okay. I can show you how to fix it. If you happen to erase part of him that should come back, you can always use the clone stamp tool. And to do that, you hold down Alt, and you're going to pick a spot that you want to clone, and then you just kind of tap it out. And again, this doesn't need to be that exact, because he's going to be very tiny later on. When you get to the part that is in between, like this area here, what I would suggest doing is going to your magnetic lasso tool and just start at one point, and then you're just going to go around the grass area. And this is going to form a selection. And if you get to a point like down at the bottom here or up top here where you can't see the end, if you just hold your mouse up here, it'll move the screen up on its own, which is really nice. And then when you find the end, see it creates a selection, and you're going to go back to your magic erase tool, or background erase tool, and then you're going to fill this part in. Do Control-0 to zoom out, and then we have our man that is a PNG. And then you can just let this go. You don't have to worry about it for right now. So let's go back to our image. And then next we're going to bring over the desert background. So let's click on that. We're going to pull it forward. You're going to use your Move Selection tool. Then we're going to click and drag and drop. We'll click this up here. See how it turns blue, then we're going to drop it and it'll move back up into our tab area. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to use Control-T to transform. And I'm going to find my corner and I'm going to hold down the Shift key and I'm going to drag it down and keep the Shift key held down because it keeps the dimensions until it fits on this white canvas. Okay, and then press enter when you have it fitted. Next you're going to create, you're going to delete the background layer because this is going to become our new background layer. And then we're going to click on layer 1 and call it background. And then we're going to make a new layer. We're going to call it clean. And you're going to use the spot healing tool. And you're going to make sure that the hardness is pretty low. And what you're going to do is just kind of go over any areas that look like they're a little bit darker than the rest. So you're just going to kind of clean up the blemishes, so to speak, of the image. There's really not that many, and it's really not that important. But it's good practice, and it'll make the background a little bit more consistent. These pieces back here, you can make the brush really small, and that'll help clean it up. Because our goal is to not pay attention really to the surface. It's more of the man and the earth. Alright, so once we have this, you're going to hold down Control, and you're going to select both of them, and we're going to link them. So that way they all stay together. And then next we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to call it night. And we're going to put this layer underneath the clean in the background. And you're going to hold down Alt and Backspace, and it's going to make the layer black. Just like that. We're going to put the background and the clean layer in a group, so that way we don't have to worry about them. So you're going to hold down Control again and background, and we're just going to click and drag them into the group thing. And then that group layer, or group folder, is actually going to receive a layer mask, just like that. We're going to go to Gradient, and you're going to click on the generic black and white feature that is right there. And you want to make sure that your foreground is black and your background is white. And we're going to click OK. And so the way that this works is if you do it the first time and it does this, it might be that this is clicked reverse, or it could be the opposite. But what you want to do is have it so that way we can't see the tree and we can't see like that mountain, so that it looks like this. So either way you do it, you just might have to do it twice and just do it the opposite way. But we don't want to see the tree and we don't want to see the mountain. Next, you're going to go and you're actually going to add another gradient. So we're going to go to here. And we are going to select foreground to transparent. And we're going to click OK. And you're going to click the reverse option. And you're going to click and drag out so that it creates almost like a spotlight effect or a street lamp effect. So we're going to click and we're going to drag. And I don't want it to be that much, so I'm going to click over here more. There. It's almost like a vignette effect. And you can also do the bottom. Woo! There we go. And now I have like a circular area that is highlighted for my man to stand. Next, we're going to drag and drop the earth onto this image. So we're going to pull it over. And we're going to bring it back. And again, using Control T, we're going to put this at the top. Whoa. Using Control T, we're going to make this smaller so we can see the entire earth on the canvas. And then we're going to spin it so that way the light part is at the bottom. If you need a form of reference, this white area that looks like a hurricane or something should be on your left. And then you're going to again hold down Shift and go to a corner, and we're going to make it larger. And we're going to bring it up so then that way it's about a third or a fourth of it that we can see. And it should be about an inch or so from your base desert line. Just like that. Then you're going to press Enter. We're going to label this layer Earth. Okay, so once we have our Earth, we're going to go to our blending modes by double-clicking on it. We're going to click Outer Glow. We're going to change our color to like a cyan or a light blue. Like a robin egg blue. Click OK. We're going to make the size 100 pixels. And we're going to make the range 100%. Opacity should be 75 and your blend mode should be screen. Once you have that, you're going to click OK. And then next we're going to come down here to our adjustment layer and we're going to click on Photo Filter. We're going to change the color to a light blue again. And we're going to adjust the density so it's between 35 and 50%. I'm going to go around like 40 something. And you're going to click this button here to clip it to the earth so it only stays on that earth layer. We're then going to create a new layer to prevent it our next step from clipping to the earth again. So now we're going to bring over the star field. We're going to adjust the size, so Control T for transform. And you want to make it so it fits on your canvas. And then we're going to put it above the night layer. We're going to label it Starfield, or stars. We're going to apply a layer mask to this. And we're going to go to the gradient. And we're going to use the black to white gradient. And you're going to apply it to the canvas so that the stars are only in the sky and not on the desert. So you might have to play around with this and figure out which way your gradient is going and go from there. And again, I would suggest holding down the shift key to make it so that way it's straight across. You can also click on the star layer and then go to levels, Control L for levels. And if you move this around, you can bring back more stars, or you can take away some stars. Or if you like it the way that it is, just leave it go. Say OK. Now we're going to bring over the standing man. So let's find him, bring him forward, again using our Move Selection tool. We're going to bring him to the top, and we're going to do Control T. And using our Shift key again, and we're going to make him nice and small. As you're doing this, you might see where there are areas in which the background didn't fully erase. So like I can see areas around here where there's still background showing. So to do that, you want to go over to your erase tool and just do your regular eraser. Make sure you're on layer 2, which is a standing man. And then you can just kind of go over it and get rid of all of that other unnecessary stuff that didn't go away the first time. And then you can always go back to transforming him and making him smaller. He should be very tiny at the end of this. And now we no longer need this layer 1, so we can delete this. You're going to use your levels tool again, so Control L. And we're going to make him dark, but you want to keep some shadows. So how you can see that there's still a little bit of shadowing, or there's still little light marks, highlights around like his shoulders and his neck and like his feet and stuff. That's what you want. So you're going to say OK. And then we're going to make a second of him. So Control J to duplicate the layer. And we're going to call it Man Shadow. We're going to do Control T. And you're going to right click and you're going to do Flip Vertical. And we're going to move it so that way it looks like a shadow. That's what we're creating. So you're going to move it down some and you're going to press Enter. We're then going to use the Hue and Saturation, but to do this, do Control U. Don't use the adjustment. And we're going to make this -100 and then say OK. Next we're going to use the Transform tool again on this man shadow. So Control T, and we're going to right click and do Distort. And you're going to click the center and you're going to drag it to the side here. Drag it to the right and pull it out. So it looks like a nice long shadow. Press Enter. And see how it kind of is off to the side some? So you might have to, as you're doing this, go back and move it so that way you can make sure it's still connected to the person, to the standing man. And then we're going to do Control T once more. And we're going to right click and do Perspective. And we're going to pull on the outsides here. And it's going to puff him out some. So once you get it kind of puffed out, so again you're just clicking and dragging along the sides here. you can then go back to, you might have to go back to distort to pull them a little bit taller again. And then once you have something close to that, you're going to click enter, and that is part of your shadow. But we're not done yet. So then you're going to go up to filter, and you're going to click blur, and you're going to do Gaussian blur. And we're going to change this to 2.5 pixels. It might be on like 1.0 pixels right now or something else. And you're going to click OK. And it makes this shadowy effect. And if you do Control plus to zoom in, and then again you do Control T, you can line this up a lot better. Then Control 0 to scale it to frame size. And you're going to change this opacity of the man shadow to about 92%. So it has a little bit of opacity effect to it. And then this is it. This is your final concept art of the lonely man looking at the earth and contemplating about his life and the life of others. So now you're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to find your Finished Projects folder. And it's going to be under Concept Art, and there's only one of these. We'll make it Earth. And you're going to save it in there as a JPEG, as your name. And then that is all. So if you have any questions, let me know. It's pretty straightforward. I think you'll do great on it. But if you need anything, raise your hand. Off you go.